And the link, this is very beneficial for everyone who's living in Norway, who's planning to get the driver's license and don't know how to, and what the requirements are. So this is the right opportunity for you. Tune in, guys. Pwede daw muna tayo magchikahan. While waiting.
Hinahanap ko nga, sa Facebook yung natin.
Me too. I'll open it on my tab and then just maybe play it, but on mute. So I'll just see how many are viewing because on StreamYard we won't be able to see it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's just you and me on StreamYard, and then our script should be on the other side of our computer. So we need a tablet maybe or a phone. Yeah, we're actually live now. See, I could see it now. Oh, 1 second. It's live. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
So it's finally sun is staying longer and coming up so nicely every day. Right? Right, Lorraine? You're on mute.
Yeah.
Right, Lorraine?
Okay.
Could you hear my
It's been a
voice?
great day today.
You're on
Also,
mute. Right,
sun is shining.
It's been a great day today. Also, sun is shining. Maybe we could mute one of the. I could hear feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dear.
Yes. It's okay. Right. Okay. 1 second. Me too. I have to. Me too. There you go.
Okay, so how
All
about
right.
this?
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So I think it's time.
Yeah.
All right. So
Time to start. Yeah.
that's right. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My pleasure to welcome you all to our monthly digital seminar. My name is Trina Gomez Butterzal. You can call me Chai. And today, me and my partner, my co hosts, are going to discuss the procedures you need to know in getting your driver's license in Norway. And towards the end, we have invited a guest who will share her relevant experience in acquiring her driving's license in Norway.
That's right, Shania. Hi, everyone. My name's Lorraine, and I'm a member and volunteer at FHS. But before we begin, we at the Filipinske Hjelpesamfund in Norge are here to guide, help, and hold your hand to the best of our capabilities. We also recommend you to visit the following website for more information, which is flashed on the screen. So, under no circumstances will our organization be held responsible nor liable for misuse of information that we are about to present.
Yes, that's very important. Thank you, Lorraine. So, guys, by the end of this Digis seminar, we aim to provide you, all of our viewers, to know the advantages of getting a driver's license, the different categories of a driver's license in Norway, the steps and stages in getting the driver's license, effective tips on how to successfully get driver's license, and of course, have an idea of how much it costs of getting your license in Norway. So let's make this a digital seminar interactive. Let us know if you're planning to get your license or you have already received it. You can write it down in the comment section. Thank you.
Yes, we'd like to hear from you guys, so please send your comments. So, okay, back to our information. Obtaining a car driver's license in Norway is a time consuming process. There are a lot of different requirements for individuals from different age groups and nationalities. So, before getting a driver's license, we must determine to ourselves if we need one. But in general, you may live with or without a driver's license here in Norway. If this is your first time to consider getting a driver's license of you or you previously have a driver's license from your previous country, there may be a big cultural difference in ways and procedures. It is best to keep an open mind and flexibility if you want to pursue getting your driver's license.
Yes, so thank you, Lorraine. Basically, you need to check on first which country you come from in order to specifically know what requirements you need to get or what you need to do in order to get permission to drive here in Norway. Depending on which country you're from, you might not need to get a new driving's license in Norway. With that being said, we start off with categorizing in which country you come from. So, first, for foreign EU or EEA citizens living here in Norway, if you have a license from an EU or EEA countries, it can be used in Norway with no hassle for as long as it is valid. This applies whether you are visiting or have relocated here. Your EU or EEA driving license can also be exchanged for a Norwegian driving license without any tests. Once you have exchanged it, your foreign license will be returned to the issuing country, and your new Norwegian license will be valid in all EU or EEA countries.
Thank you, Sharina. For foreign non-EU or non-EEA citizens living in Norway, if you have a driving license from Japan, Greenland, or Switzerland, you can exchange it for a Norwegian license without having to sit a practical test, as long as you do it within 1 year of relocation. Citizens from Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, Israel, Monaco, New Zealand, San Marino, South Korea, and the USA can exchange their license for a Norwegian one upon passing a practical driving test. But this must be done within 1 year of relocation. The theory test and practical driving test are necessary. So if you are from the UK, you can still exchange it for a Norwegian driving license according to rules that apply to driving licenses from EEA countries, even if your driver's license was issued after the UK left the EU. If you have a full driving license from a non EU or EEA country that is not on the list above, like the Philippines or India, you have to obtain your driving license the same way as Norwegian first time applicants.
Wow, that's a lot, but that's really
Yeah,
great. Thank you so much, Lorraine. So
yeah.
let's talk about what are the advantages of having a driving license. One is employment opportunities. Yeah, this can be one of the reason to get a driver's license here. We can see doors opening in the food industry, logistics, tourism, and many more. Examples would be third-party delivery services such as Foodora, Volt, etc. This could also be a step if you want to drive heavy category vehicles for logistical transport within the country or cross country, or even a driver for tours or snowmobiling guides, etc. And it would be great if you already have your own car to use, but it's not necessary. But having a driver's license, you can rent one as needed, right? And Norway has a good and well thought of public transportation, especially if you live in the capital or cities. But if you're in rural or countryside areas where bus time may have a longer waiting time before one passes, then it can provide convenience and mobility in practical, social, or leisure activities such as grocery shopping, traveling with kids, exploring a city, and maybe fun long road trips.
Yeah, actually, in getting a driver's license in Norway, we have different categories to determine what license we should have. Knowing this will help us know in detail what procedure and requirements we will need. Clase B or passenger car B is more typical for most of us.
Yes, that's right. You can check all this for kodklasser og alderskrav online or on the screen. And there are also three steps in applying for a driver's license, and there are four stages to complete and two tests to pass before attaining a Norwegian driver's license. So let's go for the first step of our application is to first register ourselves as an applicant. We can digitally fill out the form on Statens Vivesen website using our national ID number or by sending a filled in application form to your local driver and vehicle licensing office or DVLO, Traffic Station. Your application will automatically be sent to the police for a check of your conduct history. It usually takes 2 to 4 weeks to receive their response. If you are taking the practical driving tests, your conduct history must be approved before you can book a session for the test. If you're getting a driving license for which you only need to take a theory test, then conduct approval is valid for 6 months. Remember that you will also need to submit an eyesight certificate from a government approved optometrist or ophthalmologist. This is a requirement for light category license applications such as moped, motorcycle, or car, tractor, or snowmobile. For heavy category license applications such as light lorry, minibus, or bus, Or for a CPC, for emergency vehicles, a health certificate must be obtained from a doctor. You can mail it to your nearest driver and vehicle licensing office. And if you're taking a theory test, you can also hand in the certificate when you present yourself for the test.
Yeah, so the step two is also to buy or loan the theory book or register and buy access to the theory questions online. For the theory book, you may visit the website which is flashed on the screen, the road you're driving the road to your driving license, and read it entirely from start to finish. You will also find copies of this book in the communal library in the city you live in. This step can be quite a struggle for people who despise reading theory books, but it is a very well written book to learn how cars function and what is required to be a good driver in Norway. For the theory questions online, you can visit the website which is flashed on the screen. This website provides a huge collection of theory questions. The questions are objective type questions and highly resemble the questions asked in the theory exam. They have online access as well as an app on which you can practice. You you can choose the package you like from 1 day, 1 week, or monthly access pass.
No, that's great. That's really an investment to buy or loan that theory book. That's a good preparation. Now let's go to the third step for application, and that's contacting the nearest authorized driving school. The driving schools in Norway used a centralized system with cooperation of ATL to follow the progress of a student. It is the driving school's responsibility to register you as a student at their school and convey this to the city traffic station of Vivesen. All course fees are payable via the login details provided by the driving school. When you contact the driving school, the instructors want to assess your current driving skills. Hence, they will normally ask you to register for an assessment class where you drive for about 45 minutes and they assess the amount of training required to prepare you for the practical driving tests. If they feel you have a good control, they will probably only ask you to take the mandatory courses. This individualistic based on your driving skills and experience. And there are 5 stages that we are about to talk, and we will give you all that information. The first one is the basic traffic course. The mandatory course requirements are different for adults below the age of 25 and also for those above the age of 25. So if you are below 25 years old, basic traffic course 10 hours learner's permit plus 4 hours first aid course plus 3 hours a night driving demonstration. But if you are above 25 years old, there's no need for the basic traffic course. There are only 4 hours first aid course, first aid and measures in traffic accidents, plus 3 hours night driving demonstrations. So majority of the 4 hours first aid course is theoretical, but it is also consists of practical accident scenario training with dummies. The night demonstration course, as the name suggests, is a demonstration of hazards during night driving, use of headlights during normal driving, and during overtaking, and other else.
Wow, that's a lot of tests, I would say. Anyways,
True.
for stage two, which is basic vehicle and driving skills, these skills consist of making yourself ready before driving. You can choose whether you want to take your practical driving test with automatic or manual transmission. If you choose automatic transmission for your practical driving test, your driving license will be marked with a code that restricts your driving entitlement to cars with automatic transmission. If at a later date you wish to expand your entitlement to include manual transmission, you will need to take a new practical driving test. Consist of classes with focus on basic driving skills. These skills consist of making yourself ready before driving, looking long way forward, driver posture while driving, positioning the car, gear shifting, acceleration, steering and braking, reversing, waiting and parking, knowing important tools used in the car like opening hood, screen cleaner fluid, etc. Again, may we remind you to check the Norway's Ministry of Transport website for more information that shows on your screen below.
All right, thank you so much. Those are really important. Never miss those, guys. And let's go now to the third stage, which is road traffic skills. Very important. This test proves that you can drive in different conditions. We have risky situations and be able to avoid them while driving on the road. Consists of lessons on traffic systems, group of traffic users, and their use of roads, driving your car in an economical perspective, traffic regulations, traffic signboards, reading road signs, absorbing and processing road information, and driving in residential areas, tight or narrow road in light to medium traffic. Stage 3 also consists of an important piece of training, that is slippery or glattkjøring, sikkerhetskurs på bane, or road training. The NAF is the Norway's Automobile Association who provides slippery circuits to rent. The lanes in the circuits contain a mixture of oil and water to make them slippery. This course gives exposure to driving in slippery conditions and is one of the most exciting yet very important course in the process. This stage also consists of a course which takes about 45 to 90 minutes on driving in a semi motorways with multiple lanes.
Okay, for stage 4, the final training. At this step, you will develop your skills to a level where you can drive responsibly and interact well with other road users. Among other things, you are able to choose low risk ways of driving, counteract accidents, and be conscious on how you can improve as a driver also after receiving your driving license. Individual adjustments and extensive driving practice. Some of the training at this stage is mandatory, but the mandatory training is usually not sufficient to reach the main goal. It is therefore important that you practice extensively at a driving school or with a lay instructor. Ideally, you should practice driving for several thousand kilometers before taking the practical driving test.
Wow. Yes, that's right. So we're done with the four stages. And let's go now to the mandatory safety courses on the road. So this course has the aim to focus on the learner's ability to assess risk in traffic system. This is basically what the student drivers have learned from the previous trainings. And this is a 13-hour course and it has four parts. So the first is the risks of driving. Second, the driving on country roads and overtaking. Third, final driving in traffic. And fourth, reflection and summary. In order to benefit from this course, you need to be at a sufficiently high level of skill. Ideally, you ought to be at a level where you can pass the practical driving test before you take this course. In this course, you are to further develop your understanding of the risks of driving, such as identifying and describing potential risk factors in any given traffic situation, explaining what the risk involves in selecting, describing, and arguing in favor of a desired behavior. Your also ability to counteract accidents such as head on, run off, and overtaking accidents. And you also further develop your skills in driving through country roads by using a precise driving technique and further developing an eco friendly and economical driving style, for example. Also, your ability to assess yourself as a driver by assessing your own strengths and weaknesses and choosing different solutions to a given problem and being able to argue with it. All of this are mandatory courses, and theory exams should be completed before taking a practical test.
By the way, in the theory test, you will need to book an appointment to take the test and bring your passport, and it costs about 350 Norwegian kroner. So remember, you also need to have passed the theory exam before taking the practical test. The theory test is composed of training from stage 1 to stage 4 that you need to follow to succeed. However, one can choose to take the theory test during any of the four stages. Theory exams contain 45 questions. You are only allowed 7 mistakes. It means you need to get 38 correct answers out of 45 to pass. When you pass the theory test, it is valid for 3 years from the pass date. If you do not pass the theory test, you need to wait 2 weeks before you can take a new test. You can find out which topics you answered incorrectly, but not the exact questions. When you present yourself for a new test, you once again need to show valid proof of identity and pay for the theory test.
Wow, thank you so much, Lorraine. Indeed,
Yeah,
that was very helpful. Yet I could see it's also difficult. You have to only have 7 mistakes. But of
precisely.
course, that's for safety of everyone. Now let's go to the practical tests. This takes place at your local traffic station and costs around 1,150 Norwegian kroner. There will be an optional 45-minute class while driving from the driving school to the traffic station. A certified car is required for the driving tests. A set of theory questions will be asked during the practical tests. The driver is expected to be proficient in answering them. So, according to the rules, the assessor should take into consideration the overall driving and cannot look for mistakes in your driving. This means that even if you make mistakes, it is okay. You can correct your mistakes in a safe way on the road without obstructing other motorists and pedestrians.
And if you pass the test, you'll receive a temporary license permit until you receive your card, which is valid for a month within Norway. The license card will be printed and sent to your address within 4 to 5 working days. If you fail the test, an explanation to you will be given by the censor with reasons for the result. You can retake the test after 4 weeks from the last test, and that you shall have two driving lessons from driving school.
All right. Well, getting a driver's license in Norway is estimated to cost approximately 30,000 Norwegian kroner. The cost for getting a driver's license in Norway is exorbitant not because of license fees, but because of in-depth mandatory training combined with higher than average hourly rates for employees. The prices may be higher depending on the category of license you are getting and the number of hours for practice. It will also depend on where you are doing your driving tests. Here are two sample lists of prices, as what you can see on the screen. You can always check with your driving schools for accurate prices, of course.
Wow. It can be actually costly to take a driving license, don't you think, Charina?
I do, but as stated, it's not actually with the fees. It's because of the in-depth mandatory courses that's very required and for the safety of both the driver and, of course, other factors as well. So I think that's a win-win.
Yeah, that's right. Now, that's really quite a handful of informations that we have in a series of tests and stages
Mhm.
that we need to take. So, but anyways, with this factual information, now I would like to welcome our DigiSeminar guest who has already gone through the
Wow.
steps and is successful in getting her driving license here in Norway. Our guest speaker is a working Filipina vlogger who came here in Norway 3 years ago. She will share her experience on why it is no shame to retake your theory exam and give us some tips to pass these exams. Also, she will answer some frequently asked questions that are relevant to the information about driver's license. So now we have to welcome Miss Milky Santiago.
Hello, everyone who is watching the DigiSeminar by FOS. My name is Milky Santiago, and I will be sharing my experience how I got my driver's license here in Norway. So I had my driver's license for a year and 4 months already, and I got it here in, well, I am based here in Førde, which is countryside. So I think it will be different to get a license in the city and in the countryside, because in the city, I think it will be more difficult because it's a lot of traffic, and and you need to drive a little bit faster because we have a slower speed limit here since we are in the countryside. So, as they mentioned, I retake my exam, both the theory and the um, manual driving. I mean the driving itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I failed because, okay, don't make the same mistake as I did, because I was too excited that even though I know I'm not yet ready to take the theory and the driving, I want to know right away if I'm gonna pass or not. So I took the risk. I took the exam for a month that I have been practicing the theory exam via the theory tantamen.no, and did not read the book, and I did not read the course in the website. I just practiced all the questions that is that you can see in the website itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I failed. I had 14 mistakes. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's my bad. And also the driving test itself, I wasn't ready. But I took the risk because why I did that? Because I want to experience the real thing. So I will know the next time, though it's gonna cost me money. That's why I will not. I am not actually um suggesting that you do the same because it costs a lot of money. So if I did not fail, I'm only gonna pay like 24,000
Mm-hmm.
crowns. But since I failed, so I think I paid 28 in total because I have to pay again the fee of the theory exam and the driving test. So yeah, well, my tips is always if you know someone who have the book, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like what they mentioned, they you could find it in the library, and I did not know that you can find that in the library. Yeah, you read the book a lot, or
Mm-hmm.
try to memorize everything, and then if you know someone that can help you with driving, so that you don't need to book the teacher in the driving school because it costs a lot of money as well. Here it's like 750 per hour
Mm-hmm.
if you will hire a teacher, the teacher from the school. So if your husband or someone, your friend, can at least give you an hour of lesson a day, or couple of days every week, then it is actually good because you don't need to pay a lot um, of crowns, because yes, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And also, while driving, while you're practicing driving, it is very important that you um, uh, learn the signs on the roads,
Mm-hmm.
because it will be on the theory exam, most of the sign. That's why I failed, because I did not study all the signs. I think there's a lot of questions about it, and
Mm-hmm.
some mathematics. Well, it's you can see it on the book or in the theory tournament dot no.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess I mentioned a lot already, and disclaimer that my experience will be definitely different from others. So for the updated requirements
Mm-hmm.
or information, you can visit the Veyvesen
Mm-hmm.
website. And yeah, oh, also someone's I just saw I just
Yes.
need to answer
Mm-hmm.
that. I did not have a experience driving in the Philippines. Just to tell you as well, that driving here in Norway is very difficult because of the roundabout. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
that in the Philippines, so
No,
you
not so
take
much. Yes. Mm-hmm.
consideration of that. And since there's a lot of roundabout here, I decided not to take the manual car because
Right.
it's gonna be difficult with the roundabout with the manual car. So I took the automatic. So that's
Automatic.
it, guys. Thank you.
Mm. Wow, that's a lot. And yeah, thank you so much now, Miss Milky, for sharing your experience. It is indeed encouraging to add getting a driver's license as a goal or to consider this as a learning investment. Right. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good tip as well to read in advance. And I do have a friend as well who actually is now learning how to drive, and that's the reason why she actually tapped some of her friends and who guides her at night to do the practical, like the driving at night, at least an hour or two, which is really good. We now have some frequently asked question, Miss Milky, for you to answer, and let's start. In taking the practical tests, what tips would you give to someone who is planning to get a driver's license in Norway?
I think she's having a connection problem.
Sorry for that. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but stay tuned. So maybe I can ask you something, Miss Milky.
Yeah.
Um, is there any English exam for this matter or this exam?
Yes, there is. You can choose between Norwegian and English. So I would suggest you choose English because, well, if you're fluent in Norwegian, so why not? With regards to the first question of Miss Chai, since she had
Mhm.
a connection problem, okay. So what are the tips I could give as preparation? The tip is to plan your drive training based on the road numbers and exit numbers, because these
Mm.
two are the easiest way to remember the European highways or motorways.
Oh, wow. Yes, thank you so much. And in the connection, in which countries, Miss Milky, outside the EU or EEA, can you use your Norwegian driving license?
Well, according to the Statens Vegvesen website, several countries accept the EEA models. But in some countries, you may need an international driving license in addition to your regular license. And the Norwegian Public Road Administration
Mhm.
recommends that you contact the authorities on the country in question or the country's embassy in Norway and to find out what rules apply. An international driving license is translation of the driving entitlements in a national driving license into number of languages.
Mm.
Miss Milky, when do you need an international driving license?
Well, there are some things that you need to that you need an international driving license, which is if your driving license does not have a photo. Also, that the information on your driving license is written in in an alphabet other than the Latin alphabet, such as Arabic, Cyrillic, or Japanese. Um, Also, the categories on your driving license are different from the international categories pursuant to the Geneva or Vienna Convention.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
in
good to
connection to
know.
that, Miss Milky, how do you obtain an international driving license?
Well, you can obtain the international driving license by contacting the Norwegian Automobile Federation or the NAF in Norwegian,
Mm-hmm.
and this are the I think the that the website is www.naf.no. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
they flash it on the screen. Take
Nice.
note of that. It's the Royal Norwegian Automobile Club,
Mm-hmm.
KNA, the Norwegian Abstaining Motorist Association, also in Norwegian. So, yes, if you're planning to drive internationally, yeah, you take note of those websites.
Amazing.
Mm.
Yes, so we have a question from Lourdes now, Ngayon. How long for you to finally get the license based on your
Since
experience?
since I told you guys that I was in a
Mm.
hurry, I think I took
Mm.
it for since I failed, I have to wait two
Yes.
weeks, right, to
Okay.
retake the theory.
Mm.
And then after that, I booked my my practical exam. So it's like, oh, and then I failed again, and then I need to wait 4 weeks. So
Wow.
I think in total it's 2 months.
Okay.
After
That's
all of
if
those, then I got my license right away
okay.
after 2 months.
So you could have it earlier if you pass it one time.
Yeah, if you pass it right away, then you can have it for like 3 weeks. Yeah, for in
Amazing.
like in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. It
That's
depends on the available schedule as well. Since it's
mm-hmm.
Corona time when I took the exam, so I had a
Mm-hmm.
hard time finding the available schedule. I have to
Yes.
actually move to another city, not really city, but like Bayan. I don't know
Yeah.
how to call it. Yeah, because I was like I took the exam in the like the bigger city, and since they
Mm-hmm.
don't have the schedule, since I want to retake it right away, I chose
Mm-hmm.
the others Bayan.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
possible. Nice.
And actually, okay, for the tips, I have one more tips. Um, you have to really get familiarize the road
Mm-hmm.
where you will take the exam. So you really
Mm-hmm.
need to drive million times, not really million
All
times,
right.
but like a lot. Just made it. I just exaggerated it. And if you know someone that already took the exam, for
Mm-hmm.
example, like a friend already had a driving test,
Mm-hmm.
ask her where did she drive. That's
Yeah.
what I did because I had a friend the second time I had a
Mm-hmm.
friend that took the exam before me. So I
Mm-hmm.
asked him where did he go, and luckily where did he drove away around is where I exactly had my driving test. So then I
Amazing.
memorized already, the temp, like how I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
drive this and that, like that. So I was just, I guess, lucky because we had the same. They call it like a sensor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's really
Yes,
good to
that's
know,
it.
Miss Lucy.
That's we learned a lot today, Lorraine, don't you think?
Yeah, I did. And
Yes.
now I'm interested to take me a driving license as well.
Wow. Me as does neither. I can drive motorcycle and a three wheel back in the Philippines, but personally I am also aspiring four wheel driver. So hopefully would get the courage to do it. But these are all very important tips and of course information. And again, everyone, you can get all of this information on the website flashing on the screen earlier. And yes, do you have any more questions, Lorraine, for our speaker for tonight? For tonight,
I don't think I can ask more because she has answered pretty well all the things that
exactly.
that probably our viewers have also are interested to know. So
Mm-hmm.
I really thank Miss Milky for guesting to in our show today. So thank you for that, Miss Milky.
Thank you
Yes.
so much as well for having me. And I
Uh-huh.
hope that I gave an informative informations that can help our fellow Filipinos, or actually
Mm-hmm.
not only Filipinos, anyone that would
Everyone.
like
Yeah.
to get a license here in Norway. It's a very difficult one. I felt like I took the bar exam when I took.
Yes.
Yes, you know what? I know a lot of people here that took the
Uh-huh.
theory 40 times
Mm-hmm.
and they
Wow.
failed. Even
Wow,
Norwegians. I know someone who took
Mm-mm-mm.
18 times and
wow.
they did they failed, and I don't know why, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it can be very difficult to some.
That's true.
So my tips is really read the book,
Mm-hmm.
and while driving, be like vigilant, like ask
Mm-hmm.
what is that, what is the meaning of that sign, blah blah blah, because it's
Mm-hmm.
very important. They have a lot of signage here in Norway that I did not see in the Philippines,
Yeah.
and
That's
Well,
right.
I don't actually care because I don't drive. So, but here, you really, really need to care about all of those signs,
All of
because in the
those.
theory exam, you can be,
Mhm.
it can be shocking. I mean, maybe you have not yet seen those signage, so
Yes.
it's difficult to answer. And the questions, it can be they actually try to make it very difficult. So
Mm-hmm.
you thought that you answered right, but then when the checking time,
It's not.
um
Mm.
yeah, and you've had a wrong answer. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, again, we are honored to have you here for this month's Digi seminar, Miss Milky. Thank you. Thank you so much for all your insights and answers. That was very informative indeed. So, this marks, I guess, the end of our FAQs. So we hope that our viewers capture what they need to know on getting a driver's license here in Norway. So, we're rooting for everyone. Good luck. And thank you again, Miss Milky.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Miss Milky, for guesting. Yeah. And yes, Sharina, I really hope our viewers found today's Digis seminar really both,
Mhm.
interesting and educational as well.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those who missed this live program, you can watch the video again by visiting our official Facebook page and our YouTube channel, the Filipino Helping Society in Norway. You can also visit our website www.fhsnorge.org for more updates and other informations and to know more about our organization.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, everyone, if you are passionate to help and wants to utilize your skills, competence, and talents in serving others, be part of our community. You can register as a member and volunteer for free through our website. And there are several benefits for all FH's members and volunteers, such as gratis norskopplæring, and we are currently accepting applicants for April scholars.
Oh, wow. So, with that being said, of course, we would like to thank all the active newbies in Norway volunteers who were behind this DigiSeminar. For our research team, Miss Celine and Miss Pinky, Miss Abby and Peter for technical and presentation, Miss Dazzle for script, Miss Nika for graphics, and of course, my partner for tonight, the lovely Miss Sharina. Thank you guys so much. And on behalf of the Filipinska Hilpe Samfund Inorge, FHS, thank you all for watching the program and making it as productive as possible. Wishing everyone a safe and wonderful day.
Thank you. God helg allesammans.
Hej!
Ha det. Tusen
Ha det!
tack.